you guys ready to make a Dollar Tree Valentine's Day dinner with me? Because that's what we're going to be doing today. I spent $20 on ingredients to prepare a beautiful Valentine's Day dinner that includes an appetizer, an entree, a dessert, and a special sparkling beverage, and I only spent $20, so let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we're going to be making is a no-bake cherry cheesecake. So I have a block of their cream cheese blend, and this has been softened to room temperature. I'm going to go ahead and pop that in my bowl. We're going to mix this up until it is soft and creamy. A lot of recipes for no-bake cheesecakes that I found online called for vanilla and powdered sugar and things like that. So I picked up a tub of vanilla frosting. I haven't been able to find powdered sugar at my Dollar Tree in a while, so I'm going to use this, and this should satisfy all of the ingredient requirements for a no-bake cheesecake. I'm going to go ahead and whip that in as well. Last thing we're going to be mixing in is some extra creamy Cool Whip. This will help to lighten it up and make it so it's not overly sweet. Also have a graham cracker pie crust. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Pour in our cheesecake mixture. This is going to be a little bit more than this pie tin can hold, but that is okay. We'll have extras for a future dessert. That is the closest thing to a cheesecake batter that is not cheesecake that I have ever had. I do have a can of cherry pie filling, but I think we're going to chill this first and put the cherry pie filling on it later. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the lid on this and stick it in the fridge so it can start to chill, and I'm going to let it chill for a couple of hours before we get started on the rest of the dinner. Second thing we're going to make is a spinach dip pull apart skillet, same as the one that I made in my Christmas video, except for I'm going to be using the cheddar garlic biscuits to make it this time, and adding some Parmesan cheese. So I have another block of cream cheese. This one has also been softened to room temperature. I also have a bag of spinach that has been thawed in the fridge. And we're going to go ahead and drain that. I would just drain it with a tea towel because it's easy. And I totally forgot that I need to grate a block of mozzarella cheese. Let me grab that. One is being a little bit more crumbly than most of them are, but that's okay. I have noticed that recently some of the cheese blocks I've been getting from Dollar Tree have been more crumbly. I kind of feel like they're getting partially frozen in transit, which is the reason that they're more crumbly. Like their trucks are too cold or something. At least that's my theory. I do have an electric cheese grater, and I used to use it at the beginning of my channel to make this easier, but a lot of people don't have something like that, and so I like to show that it can be done by hand. I know that these little blocks of cheese are sometimes a little bit hard to work with. I do wish that their blocks of cheese were like thicker and shorter. I think that that would be a little bit easier to grate than the way that they're packaged now. But we're going to pull back in our cream cheese and spinach mixture. I'm going to mix in about 3/4 of my mozzarella cheese, and I also have some Parmesan cheese. Probably add in like 1/4 of the bottle of Parmesan cheese, and we're going to mix that all together too. And we can go ahead and set that aside while we work on our biscuits. So as I mentioned, we're using the cheese and garlic biscuits. These are the Pillsbury ones. They say just add milk, but I always just do water to keep the costs low. So half a cup of water into that. Bringing in the good old beautiful cast iron skillet. I'm going to brush it lightly with some oil just to keep things from sticking. And I'm going to dollop little bits of biscuit dough around the outer perimeter of the skillet. Once all the biscuit dough is around the edge here, we can go ahead and put the spinach dip in the center. And kind of press it down to fill in our little ring. And then taking the leftover mozzarella cheese, we can sprinkle that over the top. And then this can get set aside, ready to bake. For the entree, I am doing my lazy lasagna, the $5 lazy lasagna, just 4 ingredients. So we're going to start out by grating another block of mozzarella cheese. As you can tell, this is a very cheese-heavy dinner. I think that cheese sometimes can make things a little bit fancier. You don't have a whole lot of options for fancy food at Dollar Tree because, well, at least not at my Dollar Tree. Some people's Dollar Trees have steaks and shrimp and stuff like that. Mine doesn't have any of that. None of the ones in my area do. I've been to a few. So it's kind of hard to come up with ideas that are a little bit more on the fancy side. The Christmas dinner was pretty easy because, you know, you've got stuffing and mashed potatoes, and I just had to come up with like a ham. The spinach dip, the pull-apart spinach dip skillet was kind of a creation that I was really proud of, and I'm happy to be doing it again. So just a reminder that you don't always have to come up with something new every single night. I have a tendency to try to make new things all the time, and that's because I make content for the internet. So I'm always trying to come up with new ideas and be inventive. And I am being a little bit inventive with the cheesecake, but I figured for the rest of the meal I could keep it relatively simple, and I did want to make things that were elegant, you know, because it's a Valentine's Day dinner. And sometimes, you know, a holiday's about simplicity and just celebrating in the way that you want to celebrate, eating the foods that you enjoy eating, more so than it is about trying to make something, trying to reinvent the wheel or do something different or new. Okay, so there is our grated mozzarella cheese. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside for a second. Pulling in our little baking dish here. I have some Valetti's garlic pasta sauce. This is new, so I'm kind of trying this out. I have tried their marinara sauce before, but not this one. It does smell very nice. I like their marinara sauce because it has a very fresh taste to it. We're going to start by putting down a layer of sauce in the bottom of our pan. I have 2 bags of cheese ravioli. These have been thawed in my fridge, and I do thaw them when making my lasagna because you want the ravioli to stick to itself in order to really get that like a lasagna look at the end. And if it's covered in ice, it won't do that. So I'm just gonna stack these down as best as I can, trying to fill in as many gaps as I can. We're going to kind of do 9 on the first layer. Add a little bit of sauce in between, not a whole lot because again you want everything to stick together at the end. And if there's too much sauce, your ravioli won't really adhere to one another. And then we can go in with our second layer. What you doing?
Watching this thing.
What thing?
The controller screen.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Making a Valentine's Day dinner.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah. The final step is to cover it in our shredded cheese. I do put all of the cheese on top just to give it like a really pretty, bubbly, cheesy look when it's done. And in this case, we do have Parmesan cheese, so we can add some of that too. And then we can go ahead and toss this in the oven. I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees. We're gonna put this in for about 30 minutes or so, and the spinach dip is gonna take about 15 minutes to bake. So depending on how long this takes to bake, I'm gonna put the spinach dip in the last 15 minutes. I'll let you guys know. Our cheesecake has been chilling in the fridge for a few hours. I made it at lunchtime and it is now about 6 o'clock. So we can go ahead and top it with our cherry filling. Let's try one of these first real quick, see what they taste like. They're a little tart, but I think that actually will work out in our benefit because the cheesecake is a little on the sweet side. So it'll probably be a really good balance of tart and sweet. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back on that and stick it back in the fridge until dinner is ready to be served. That turned out amazing. Look how beautiful golden brown those biscuits are. It smells fantastic. Going to set that to the side. Our gorgeous little ravioli lasagna here. I've already cut it into slices. It's already been sitting for about 5 minutes, kind of chilling while the spinach dip finished up cooking. I did end up baking the lasagna for about 40 minutes total, and the spinach dip took about 18, maybe 20 minutes. I just want to make sure that I had a nice golden brown on the biscuits, so that's why it took a little bit longer than I expected. Now the spinach dip is definitely the star of the show in my opinion, but second only to this beautiful no-bake cherry cheesecake. I do wish it was in a cuter vessel than this aluminum pie tin, but you know what? It's bougie on a budget. We're totally fine here. But we have a beautiful little Valentine's Day dinner, and that is not all. We are not done yet because I promised some bubbly. I even went so far as to grab myself a couple of beautiful little glasses from Dollar Tree, little like champagne style glasses. They even still have the stickers on the bottom. So what we have here is we have this sparkling blush. This is a cider. And we also have this sparkling pear as well. So these are both from Dollar Tree, and I'm really excited. Let's see, these are twist off. Okay, there's one. Also a twist off. So that's the blush. Oh, the pear. Oh, look how beautiful and crisp that is. That looks like champagne. That is so pretty. So we have our two little beverages here. I'm going to set these aside so I don't get them mixed up. I do need to take a little bit of promo footage for my TikTok. So I'm going to pull everything back in frame so I can do that as well. Alright, I think we are ready to plate this up and give everything a taste. I can definitely tell that one of these is more bubbly than the other. So the pear, if you want like a super bubbly drink, the pear is the way to go. I'm going to try that here shortly. And of course, this is only half of the food because, like I said, a lot of these dishes are meant to feed 2 people, but they more realistically feed 4. That's just the nature of the beast. So you're going to have leftovers. Or if you're the type of person who is having a Valentine's Day dinner and you can't get a babysitter for the kids, this is something you can make and feed all 4 of you. So that's also an option too. So most of this is not a surprise to me in what it tastes like. I've already made the lasagna. I've already made the spinach dip. The cherry cheesecake is new for me and the drinks are new for me. If you see me looking in this direction, it's because I have my second camera set up over there. So let's start with the lasagna. Super cheesy. A little dry because of the sauce. The Parmesan cheese, the mozzarella cheese, the ricotta filling, very cheesy, very rich. It does need a little bit more sauce in my opinion, but like I said, that can be remedied by serving the sauce on the side for the sake of a better presentation of the dish, in my opinion. Now we get to try some of our spinach and biscuits. These are the cheddar garlic biscuits, so I already know that this is going to be good. So creamy. I could eat this with a spoon. If you don't try any of my recipes, try the spinach dip with the biscuits. For real, like the spinach dip pull apart ring, it beats tortilla chips like 10 to 1. This one is the pear. Very lightly sweet. I'm not a big pear drinker, to be fair. It is very good though. This one smells like grape juice. I think this one is raspberry. Apples and raspberries. So this one's supposed to be more like a sparkling apple juice. I like the flavor of the apple better, but the pear one is more bubbly, so it feels more festive. And of course, cheesecake time. The cherries are pretty tart, but it balances really well with the sweet cheesecake filling and the graham cracker crust. But the cherries are a little on the tart side, I'm just gonna say that. Otherwise, it is a really fun, and this turned out really good. I'm really proud of this Valentine's Day dinner. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some ideas, and I will see you again soon.